This jumper's too big for me, it's enormous. What am I supposed to do with this? Only kidding, it's my arms. Totally feel good. I'm Electric Richard, and here's some more news. Now to catch up on the rest of the news, here's some more news from last week's news. Last week was mostly about Apple and PS4. Okay, it was all about Apple and PS4. This is about other stuff. So let's start with Gabe Newell. The news about Valve boss Gabe Newell is a nice one actually. He's been made a fellowship of, he's gained a fellowship by the BAFTA Association. That's the British Atlantic Football Team Association. Why are you going to films? What's that about? Basically think of it as a kind of a lifetime achievement award. BAFTA said we were crediting this guy because he's really, really good at what he does. Valve have done great stuff with letting their users create content, and that's a great system. And also they made some very innovative games, particularly multiplayer, and that's all very good. Valve boss Gabe Newell also said very recently that Valve are going to shift their direction a little bit, sort of shake things up. Apart from firing 10% of their workforce, look it up, that happened, they want to find a new model to sell people's content, to sell the things that they've made, to the mods they've made for these games. Now, as console owners, you and I might find this a bit odd because, you know, we don't see these things very much. It's a shame, really. Always been my problem with Valve. They don't really release these editions for Xbox often enough, if you ask me. That's the price we pay for being console owners, I suppose. Anyway, when it comes to this new model, just read the fact that I guess Valve wants to make more money from this content. Also, this is much more exciting. They've said that they'd like to get these modders involved in video games that are being developed from scratch, brand new games, which is fantastic. I think it's a great way, kind of community-based game creation. I like that. Nintendo, yes, they've been announcing a lot of stuff for Britain and Japan. There's quite a list. If you don't watch them, I recommend you tune into Nintendo Direct. That's this hilarious web show that they do with this. Oh, this guy's really funny. He sort of gets up and pretends to be this really kind of stiff corporate Japanese guy who's got a very he speaks English but with a very thick Japanese accent, and he's not very good on camera. You know, not as good as other people, I suppose. And it's just so funny. You got to watch it. And what? Okay, that's Iwata. He is the CEO of Nintendo, and he insists on doing them himself, these two presentations. Anyway, what did Nintendo announce? Well, for the UK, they announced a brand new Animal Crossing for the 3DS called New Leaf. I'm not really into Animal Crossing, but if you are, that's cool. Whatever, that's good for you. Monster Hunter 3. Now, this is a good one. Monster Hunter 3 for Wii U and 3DS. And this is the best bit. They're compatible with each other. Yes, they link together. You can play one game on the other. You can take your monsters away, train them, bring them back to fight. Oh my god, that's what these consoles are all about. That's the connectivity I've been wanting to see since the beginning. Well done, Nintendo. And sticking to the Monster Hunter 3 announcement, there's going to be a special edition of the 3DS XL with a big Monster Hunter stamp on it and a funny colour to it too. So if you fancy buying a whole new 3DS XL, then go for it. The Monster Hunter 3 one should be out by the summer. Although, if you ask me, I think Nintendo were perhaps pushing their 3DS XL a bit too hard, especially on these direct things, because I've got a 3DS and I don't want to buy an XL because I've got 3DS. So Nintendo, please stop pushing the 3DS XL so much, making me feel like an absolute chump for buying a 3DS. Eh? Please stop doing that. Okay, what else? Monster Hunter, done that one. Oh, Mario and Donkey Kong. It's like a puzzle game with those two in it. Luigi's Mansion 2, great, fantastic, that's finally coming out in March. There'll also be a brand new Castlevania, and it looks pretty good, it's a multiplayer thing, that's fun. And this is one of my favourite announcements, there's going to be an update for New Super Mario Bros. Wii U. Now, as we know, we've all played that, it's like the old 2D Mario games as we know them, except this update will be all about Luigi. You play Luigi through the game. How cool is that? For the Japanese announcement, Nintendo announced a new Professor Layton. This is Professor Layton and the Azran Legacies. I'm sure it's full of puzzles and some cool little plot. They also confirmed that 2 Zelda titles from the Game Boy Color, Zelda Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, will both be coming to the online virtual store. Oh, and a Monster Hunter 4 trailer. So yeah, we might be getting excited about Monster Hunter 3. In Japan, they're about to get Monster Hunter 4. Still, can't complain, mustn't grumble, be grateful for what you're given, you know, especially from old man Nintendo. Sticking with Nintendo, for some reason they're releasing the Wii Mini over here in the UK sometime in March 22nd. For some reason, we don't know why they're releasing it over here. It's just happening. It's basically a Wii, but it's black with a red border around it. It has no internet, and it doesn't play GameCube games. So, yeah. Nintendo said they're specifically aiming it at the 6 people who haven't already bought a Wii. Also, we don't know how much it's going to cost. No one knows how much that. But I mean, it's $99 in Canada, which is the only other region it's been released in. It hasn't been released in the States yet, weirdly enough. So I'm assuming somewhere between 50 and 80 quid, I reckon. Great news for Xbox owners. There's a sale on, crazy sale. It's online only, and if you follow Major Nelson on Twitter, you'll find out more about this. But basically, they're bringing out a game a day with a massive reduction in price on it, and you can buy it for that one day only. So pay attention to their Twitter feed and to your Xbox Live. Xbox has confirmed between 75 and 85% off some games. I mean, that's quite a lot of money. It varies, but it's up to those two numbers. Halo 4, for instance, 26 quid. That's not bad at all, actually. The other Halos for £9. Wow. Other games include Max Payne 3, Red Dead Redemption, Dishonored, the Batman Arkham titles, Resident Evil 4, 5, and for some reason 6, as well as Street Fighter X, Tekken, some Call of Duties, and Portal 2. That's quite cool, actually. That's really cool. And it's only running until the 4th of March, so get there quick. Do you remember the WWE games? Weren't they fantastic? Well, THQ, who made those games, are no more. So what's happening to your favourite wrestling franchise? Well, have no fear, 2K are taking it over. Yes, 2K. 2K, to me, are perhaps most famous for publishing things like Grand Theft Auto and lots of other Rockstar games. But they also do a great deal of sporting titles, so they're probably in good hands, the WWE, with 2K. So yeah, fantastic. I should point out that 2K are part of Take-Two Interactive. They're the ones who publish the Rockstar games. Let's not get picky here, okay, because I know what you guys are like. And finally, Battlefield 4 has been confirmed as a next generation title, not a this generation title. Well, that could probably still happen, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Fantastic news, because if there's one thing we learned from the PS4 is that thanks to the beefy memory and the great massive processing speed, that it can create war zones that are chaotic and messy, and that's what Battlefield kind of does well anyway, but will really do really weller with for having that. I could have done that a bit more consistently. And that's the news. That's all we have time for, really. And that's the news. That's it. It's a bit of a quiet month at the moment. So what do you think of the stuff that I've been talking about? What do you think of Gabe Newell's accolade? Do you think he's worth it? Do you think BAFTA should be delving into games like this? Do you think they should leave it to gaming people? Or do you think BAFTA should incorporate gaming more and not just in its own specific BAFTA gaming categories? What do you think about that Xbox sale, eh? Not bad at all. Are you going to buy any games? I certainly will. I think I'm going to be buying... well, I haven't decided yet. I'll see what the discounts are. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to tweet me, because I'm on Twitter and none of you tweet me. So that's starting to annoy me now. And leave some comments. If you don't leave some comments, at least tweet me, because I get the love from Twitter. I get the love from your comments. I mean, I get some love from your comments. I like your comments, but I'm going off topic now. What was I saying? Oh yeah, bye!